So the question comes up very often on which of the 10 Thrive themes to use. Uh, so I usually recommend Rise for a few different reasons. I'll go through it in this video. I'll cover as well the Pressive demo to show you the pitfalls or the challenges with this one. But let me go through Rise. This is a demo site build with Rise. So the the element of the themes that we see is really the header, and then this footer area, this widget area in the footer, and then this footer right down there at the bottom completely. So those are the elements on each page. So if I go to, for example, a service page, we'll see the header. This is a ribbon that's done with Thrive Lead, so it doesn't it's not part of the theme itself. It's part of Thrive Leads, which can be installed on every theme. But this is, again, so this is part of the theme, and this is part of Rise. So it's Rise as the format like this, and there's a menu here, a copyright, and then a connect with me on this side. So that's what Rise does. On top of it, there's the everything on the blog page. So if we see this blog layout, so we see the picture, the title, the dates and the author, the category, the excerpt, so the summary of the post, and then there's a read more button. I think there's an option for the read more that could be changed, and then through CSS we can hide any of those elements. This little line there is done with Rise, so that's part of Rise. We can change the color of this. The gray color, we can change it through CSS quite easily. But this is the general look and feel. So this little line, this blue line, we can change it to any color. This search bar, the format with the search button. So this is what Rise shows up in a blog. This is the blog index, so the list of blog posts. And if we go within, so inside one of the blog posts, so we have a large picture at the top, the title, the meta information here, the social share, and then we have the blog post itself. So this is all customizable. This is just images inserted. This is a Thrive Leads. I'll go through that after. And this is like the author box, so it has the image a bit slanted like this, and a place for description, place for a link. The leave the comment is pretty much like this with minimal CSS. So the button here is blue. This is the default. We can change it to the client's color. This is the default font, which is quite good by default. And then this is the popular post. So this little effect like this is part of the Rise theme. So by default, it looks quite good, quite professional. Some of the other themes, it's maybe less modern. So this is one of the most modern looks. So that's why I recommend to go with it. And it makes it easy. It's a full width. So if I go back to the home page, so it's full width. So again, it's more modern to have all the elements really touching the side of the page. I'll show you just to show you as a comparison with the Pressive. So this is the demo from the Pressive, from the Thrive Theme website. So the nice thing about Pressive, which people like, is the fact that the menu is on top of the background image. So you see the background image with the factory. So the menu is actually on top. We can see it there. The challenge with that is as we resize the theme, there's a point where if I extend, a lot on a large screen, then the logo will be on top of the image. So we have to do some effects, some photoshopping to make sure that we can see because it's transparent. So this is the challenge. That means every time we choose an image for the top, we have to make sure that the color fits, we can see the background image. So I usually tell clients, very nice. I've done a few integration with Thrive, with Pressive. It gives a very nice result, but we have to spend maybe 5 to 10 hours overall on the site additionally for the home page to make sure everything blends in. We have to make sure that on mobile, we have to sometimes make some adjustments as well because of this transparency of the background. So it makes image selection much harder. So you can calculate to 5 to 10 hours. On top of it, if I go to the blog post, There is the option for every blog post to have the same effect, so transparent image. But then again, you see this example. There's an overlay, but it can be hard to see the titles, and then as we change, then we see it's white on white. Very hard to see the logo here. We can't see the by theme properly because of the resizing. So that means every blog post you create, when you pick the image, you have to spend time to put an image with the right overlay, or have a drop shadow, do all sort of stuff. So it makes it even more difficult every blog post. So it is very nice. I do agree it has a lot of nice feature, but in terms of time to build the website, it does add to it. So it's pros and cons. I always like to advise client on what they prefer. If budget is less of an issue, or the time frame of the project is less of an issue, definitely Pressive is a good choice. The other drawback of Pressive, however, is that it's not a full width theme. So this section here is not full width, so an image is not, it doesn't have the same effect. Only the top will be full width. So that's another drawback of the Pressive theme to consider as well. I did some stuff so we can force it full width, but then it creates issues. We have to take that into account. So that's the comparison between the two themes. Just to come back to the Thrive, a few options. So the few options on the top there, I'll pause and I'll show you exactly. So one of the option is to have the logo in the center like this, and in the menu at the bottom there. So now it doesn't look very balanced because the contact us is in this format as a button. We could remove that, but this is one of the option in Rise. And most of the Thrive themes has this option. So the other option is, instead of having this, this is called masonry with a sidebar. So we can have the blog post in two columns like this. The other option is to go, for example, grid. So I'll just refresh the page. I'm just changing the settings. So it's very easy to change. So the grid is, so the image is the same size and it cuts off evenly at the end there. So that's one of the option. The other one is the default one. And I'll just refresh. And the default one is, so the blog. So if you click blog, the index, so you have the big image like this, the big title, a little summary there, and then the other blog post is after that, and then so on and so forth. So this is the options available on the Rise. Some of the themes do not have this option. They have less options. So every theme has their own features. One of the things that Rise doesn't have is this sticky menu. So some of the theme, some of them like Ignition, when we scroll down, the menu there will stick at the top. So it's one of the thing Ignition has that Rise doesn't have, unfortunately. But that can be, instead of having the menu, what we can have is a ribbon. So if I go back, for example, on this page, so we have this ribbon, and this ribbon could be at the top. This is an exit intent. So this ribbon could be at the top, and it could be more, maybe a better thing to show a good call to action, a good ribbon like this, instead of having the menu to scroll down. So really the goal is to convert clients, visitors into, potential clients, or at least offer them, start some engagement. So I think, having this ribbon, that this does follow. That can be a very good way of doing it. Just since I'm on that page, this is with Thrive Lead, so we can insert some opt-ins on the side of the blog post like this. And if we go inside of blog post, so this is a widget on the side, this is a ribbon at the footer here, and then we can have something in the middle of the post automatically generated right there, and then at the footer of the post we can have something like this. This is a bigger version of it, so this is custom made with some reviews like this, an ebook and so on, description. So there's also, this is all custom made. We can do that for clients, based on their content, and make something very nice looking like this. And there are more options as well with Thrive Leads of opt-ins that we can show. There's all sort of conditional opt-ins, so depending on the blog post category, we can show different opt-ins. So a lot of exceptions as well we can do. So in a nutshell, that's why I suggest Rise, but there's definitely Pressive, there's definitely the other 8, and there's a total of 10. Some clients prefer some. I've worked with almost all of them, and so it's just some pros and cons in each. So that's the status of the Thrive Themes selection.